Hi everyone, I'm Rushen. So I'll be talking about good eating habits, and it's most probably on glucose spikes. So let's move on. So first of all, I'll tell why I am talking about this one. So most probably I'm the fattest guy on this company, right? So why am I talking about being healthy? So first of all, I love food, right? My mom makes best food ever, so I love eating food. So I don't want to die by eating food. So yeah, I wanted to learn how to eat healthy and not die by eating food. So the second one, for some reasons, I know how important it is to be healthy, and how important being a fit guy is. Yeah. And the third one, not having the strength that I used to have, right? Uh, over this last project that I had, we had to work all 7 days a week, 7 days of the week, and some days it might took 12 hours per day. So back in days, you guys all know, as 99% of you are from Moratuwa, how hard we worked when we were doing A levels. We almost worked like 14 hours a day, 16 hours per day, and we were full fit, and we could have done more. So, but now, uh, working more than 8 to 9 hours, we feel really tired, and uh, we don't have much strength to move forward. So yeah, I wanted to learn how to avoid that, and how to be fit again. So yeah. So what is a glucose spike, right? A glucose spike is a rise of our blood glucose level over a certain period of time, more than it is expected to be. So when we move on to this one, this is a huge glucose spike, and yeah, this is I'll talk about this more. Uh, we in our earlier days, we thought having an orange juice at the beginning of the day, it was really healthy, right? But look at this, right? uh, Eating a having an orange juice, rather whole orange, it creates a huge spike, and a carrot juice as well. So yeah, let's move on. So, why it is important to be concerned about glucose spikes? Glucose spikes are not only for diabetes patients, right? We think that we need to care about our sugar intake and glucose levels if we are only having diabetes, right? Then once you had a spike, you need to eat again. I'll explain it over the last one, right? Let's look at this glucose spike, right? Here we have a certain level of glucose in our bloodstream. Then we get a huge spike of glucose level in our bloodstream over 2 hours of period of time. Then the glucose level is coming all the way down than the previous level before eating the meat. So this creates a huge glucose deficiency in our body. Uh, Sorry. So from that, that deficiency creates a huge spike in our brain to eat again. So if we have a huge glucose spike, uh, it creates us a hunger. Creates us a mood that we need to eat again and again. So yeah. And more spikes means less neurons being able to communicate, right? So if we are having more glucose spikes over in a per day, you might get brain fog, you might remember. So neurons are the brain cells, particularly neurons are the brain cells. They don't connect with each other. They have a little space between them, so they communicate between electric pulses, right? So those for those electric pulses, for if there are more glucose spikes in the body, uh, the energy of the body is wasted on those to get down those spikes, and not to those electric signals. So right, so we get various memory problems, brain fog, like that. Yeah. So then more spikes means faster you age. That process is called glycation, right? So glycation means if we take the bone marrow of a small child and a old man, old person, right? The bone marrow of the small child is white and the old man is brown. So it means we are being cooked something like a chicken in the oven, right? We are being cooked from our birth to our death, right? So it means more spikes means faster you age. So more spikes creates it means you might die early, right? So our powerhouse of the cell is mitochondria. You might have heard in all your biography, right? Biology. So too much glucose means mitochondria get tired. What mitochondria does is generate energy to do our task in a day. So when let's say us, right, when we are fed up with more and more and more work, we don't want to do anything. We would like to do nothing, right? So it's like that. If mitochondria get more and more glucose, it has to take all this energy and all this glucose and convert that into energy. So that might get mitochondria might get tired and do nothing. So that's another thing. And the most important thing is glucose. When there is a glucose spike in our body, it releases insulin from pancreas, and that insulin grabs extra glucose and they store in three places, right? One is muscles, and that's how you grow muscles. Then in liver, and the last one is the most important one, in our fat cells. That is making us fat, right? So more glucose spikes means you will end up like this. So yeah, when we are talking about glucose spikes, do you feel tired and sleepy right after your meal, right? If you are feeling tired and sleepy right after your meal, you are definitely having a glucose spike. So you are eating your food in a wrong manner. And I have to put a disclaimer: if you don't have any of these symptoms that I told earlier, and if you are really fit after a meal, you don't have to do anything. You are fully fit and you are a really healthy person, right? So tip number 1 to reduce glucose spikes: eat food in the right order. So this is a crucial point, right? I know this is really hard, but if you can do this at least twice or thrice per a week, this would be great. And I have experienced it. So I'm telling you the experience. So you have to first eat your veggies, and then your proteins and fat, and lastly starch and sugar. So yeah, I'll move on and explain in the future. So the tip number 2 is try to have a veggie starter before you eat, right? Before you start eating other things. So what veggies does is, veggies have fiber. When fiber enters our body, let's say you are eating a veggie salad before your main course, like let's say you are eating pasta. So before eating that pasta, you are taking a veggie salad. So what that veggie salad does is, once it enters through the intestine where it digests, that fiber in that veggie salad creates a mesh-like thing in your intestine, and from that it creates a shield like a barrier to create glucose spikes. And let's say you are eating the pasta next. So when the pasta comes, that starches in the starches and carbohydrates in that pasta are not allowed to enter the bloodstream through the intestines that quickly, as a fiber mesh is protecting your intestines, right? So let's say see an example, right? This is a glucose spike right after an instant noodle, let's say a kothumi, right? So and this is one before eating the instant noodle, you have a cup of spinach and 1 cup of chicken, then you are having the instant noodle, the glucose spike is reduced a lot, right? And here, if you are eating a bowl of spaghetti whole, and before eating the spaghetti you are having a salad, you can see the difference, right? So yeah. Tip number 3, try to have a savory breakfast. We all does this mistake, right? We all are having uh, sugary and starchy breakfasts, right? We start the day with a coffee or a tea, right? So if it is sugary and starchy early in the day, it creates more spikes. I'll explain like this, right? If you are having sugary breakfast early in the morning, it creates a huge spike. Let's say after 1 and 30 hours and 2 hours, let's say, it down the pancreas releases insulin, and it get down huge in a huge amount, right? Then it creates a deficiency in our bloodstream. There's a glucose deficiency. Then your brain tells, go and eat something. Then you eat again, then it creates another glucose spike, right? Then that spike get deducted in 2 hours. Then another, you have to eat again, then another spike, right? So 2 into 24 you can calculate, right? So tip number 4, pick dessert over sweet snack, right? uh, if we want to eat something sweet, it's better for our glucose to have it as a dessert after a meal than a snack between meals. We often take snacks, we grab a biscuit and eat, we grab a, let's say, a banana or apple, right? But the best practice to do is, let's say you are taking veggie starter, then you are taking your main meal, and then it is the time to have a sugary craving or something, a biscuit or a fruit, right? The best way, I know that, right? We all need to eat sugar. If you have cut sugar per one, at least one day, you might know how much our body wants sugar, right? So our body always wants sugar. So try to take that one right after your meal. It will create a huge difference in your body as well, right? So let's go to the next one. This is a little bit a creepy one, but vinegar can be taken as 1 tablespoon in a tall glass of water with a straw. It is more accurate, or as a salad dressing, ideally up to 20 minutes before a meal. So taking this one little thing, this can create reduces the spike of your meal up to 30%. 30% is a huge number if you have read those research articles and everything, right? Tip number 6, after you eat, move, right? After you eat meals, you can when you can use your muscles, at least 10 minutes. I prefer 20 minutes, but at least 10 minutes to reduce the glucose spike of the meal. So uh, it is happening like that, right? So pancreas is releasing insulin, and it spreads to muscle cells and liver and our fat cells. So if we start moving, our muscle cells started working, right? So our muscle cells need strength. So that glucose or the glucose in our blood will pump to those muscles rather than the fat cells and others. If you start moving right after your breakfast, this is a huge tip. At least try this once, you will feel the difference, right? So the tip number 7, if you want to have a snack, make it savory rather than make it sweet. Sweet snacks gives us pleasure. Savory snacks gives us energy. Savory snacks include proteins, healthy fats, and fiber. So yeah, that's all. I hope you have enjoyed it and gained something from it.